Welcome in to the Punt Pass podcast. I'm your host, Drew Butler, joined alongside my co-host, Jake Fromm. Be sure to follow us on social media at Punt Pass on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Drew Butler. Jake is at From Jake. Head on over to puntandpass.com, the number one destination for all things college football. Jake, Week 0 is here, man. We are recording this on an early Tuesday morning. Got some stuff to do this week, so I'll be a little bit out of town. But, man, starting next week, Week 1, 2 episodes a week. Week 0 is here. I saw you last weekend in Athens. How are you, my man?
Man, doing good. Week 0, almost there. Let's go. Can't wait till the weekend.
Absolutely. Hey, this episode of Punt and Pass is presented by our awesome friends over at RecTech. RecTech wood pellets, grills, and smokers are the highest quality grills on the market and exactly what you and your family need to get ready for football season and all of your tailgating adventures. Be the envy of any tailgate or home gate this football season with an ultimate tailgate or home gate bundle, which are available now on sale at rectech.com. That's RECTEQ.com. Also be sure you follow RecTech on social media at RecTech_official on Twitter and Instagram. And if you listened last week, Jake, it went like semi-viral. We have gotten over 1,000 entries for the RecTech giveaway.
Big
That's
time.
right. RecTech is giving away an unbelievable package to one Punt and Pass listener to get you ready for the 2022 college football season. Included in the giveaway is a RecTech RT1250 wood pellet smoker, a grill cover for that smoker, a 20-quart RecTech icer cooler, 80 pounds of RecTech Ultimate Blend wood pellets, and a rub and sauce bundle. This is unbelievable. It's the biggest giveaway we've ever done, and the response is showing that. Shout out to RecTech. Shout out to Jody Flanagan at BBQ Dad Jody on social media. And RecTech's going to be at the Chick-fil-A kickoff game weekend. They have a live activation in between Centennial Olympic Park and Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They'll be grilling. They'll be chilling. Go meet the RecTech team. They're giving stuff away as well. You will be able to smell them if you're walking around downtown Atlanta and you're headed to the game. So we'll keep you up to date on that. RecTech.com. Follow RecTech at RecTech_official. All right, man. It's the team meeting. Let's dive right into it. You and I, we were talking before the show. I was like, we got to keep these a little bit shorter. We're just rambling. There's something to talk about. We need football games to start.
That's it.
So the first thing I'm going to address, though, is I saw you at the Georgia Scrimmage on Saturday, which was awesome. It was Letterman's weekend. You were down on the field. A cooler fall day, right? I mean, late summer, early fall day.
I heard Kirby was like low key kind of pissed about it because when I remember fall scrimmages, I mean it's just hot, it's brutal, and he was kind of mad that the weather was nice, so the guys basically didn't puke their brains out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was great. High energy. End of camp for Georgia. Class started last week. So that's Saturday. I think it was the second or third scrimmage is when camp breaks. Those guys get to go back to their dorm rooms or if they live off campus. And then you kind of get into the natural swing of things preparing for game week. Kirby told the Letterman that after Saturday's scrimmages, all the focus was going to Oregon. It was great to have him come talk to the Letterman as well. Hell, there had to be 150, 200 Lettermen show up. We had lunch. We had some cold beverages up in the west end zone. But it was great to see everybody, the camaraderie, the fellowship. My favorite thing is I saw Coach John Casey, Jake, who I know you know, an absolute legend around Georgia football. And I was talking to him, and I was like, Coach, this is an unbelievable turnout. How about this? And he looked at me, and he goes, hey, Coach, how many guys you think would be here if we went 2-10 last year? And I go, good point.
Well,
everybody wants to be attached to a winner, but it's a fun celebration of Georgia, especially the Letterman wanting to support this great storied program. And Kirby told everybody, he goes, I'm sick of this shit. We're moving on. It's 2022. Thanks for all the love, but we got work to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's just typical, Coach Smart, being Coach Smart, so, hey, look, that was great, moving on, which, I mean, gosh, there's a ton of truth to that too, I mean,
Absolutely.
Look, that was great, big high five, pat on the back to everybody who was involved in that, but, I mean, there's high expectations, there's a target on their back, they got to get ready, so, that started with, that scrimmage and, having to get better that day.
Yeah, I love the energy, love the intensity. You could feel it when you were in the stadium. We'll get to that in just a little bit on first down. But one more thing I have to mention in the team meeting. And Jake, this is like kind of comical to a point, but man, I have to address it. I got so many people reaching out to me because of some of the programmatic ads that have been running before or after Punt and Pass. Hey, just a word to our audience. If you don't hear me or Jake say it, we don't have control over it. Punt and
Not that
Pass
at
is
all.
syndicated on a regional and national network, meaning if you pull up Punt and Pass on your iPhone, on your Android, on Spotify, on iTunes, it's like turning on the TV or turning on the radio. Okay. Yes, it's an election year. Yes, it's tough to get away from that nonsense. If you've ever listened to Punt and Pass in the past, you know that we do not talk about politics. If you ever listen to Punt and Pass and seen some of the guests that we've had on, you would know that maybe which way I or other people who have been on this podcast do lean, but that's irrelevant. Okay. If I am not reading a specific ad, we don't have anything to do with it. If it makes you so upset that you tweet at me, that you leave bad reviews for the podcast, and that you honestly are so disturbed by something that plays before a podcast starts, one, get a life. Two, fast forward. Just press fast forward, skip through it. Don't tell me that you've unsubscribed. Don't tell me that I have lost my dignity by selling my soul to a political ad. I don't do that. I even got a female who I would say is one of the most powerful females in the state of Georgia in the political scene. She texts me on Sunday morning and she goes, yo, I just turned on Punt Pass. What is going on? And I go, hey, listen, I will try to figure out what the hell is going on, but please understand that that's just like turning on the radio. It's just like turning on the TV. If you watch Monday Night Football and a political ad comes up because you live in a hotly contested county, you're not going to stop watching ESPN. You might just go grab another drink, come back when the football's back on. So people, I'm trying to figure it out, but please understand that's just syndication, baby. We're going live. It's the 6th season of Punt Pass. I apologize. If it really upsets you that much, let me know. I'm trying to figure it out. We've addressed the French ads. That's a whole nother thing, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Jeez. Hot. I'm hot on a Tuesday morning.
Okay. Coming in hot.
All right. It's first down. Let's go 3 and out. I want reactions from the Georgia scrimmage, okay? Georgia, the defending national champions. The first scrimmage, Coach Smart comes out, really wasn't pleased with the defense, says we're lacking some leadership, challenges them, which I think is essentially par for the course, especially with how much Georgia lost on the defensive side of the ball last season. But you and I were both there. We were both in person. I saw you on the field. I know a couple of people caught your eye. The season's right around the corner, man. That scrimmage really kind of told the coaching staff and everybody who was there what Georgia's got heading into week 1.
Yeah. So, like you said, the theme coming out of the first scrimmage was the offense dominated, especially on third down. They just defense just couldn't get the offense off the field. So, watching the scrimmage from the sideline, got to get a good feel. I thought it was pretty back and forth. The offense made a few plays, defense made a few plays, got a few turnovers. One guy who I saw made a fantastic play right there in front of us was Kamari Lassiter, at corner. A post ball went up. I mean, he basically runs the route, for the receiver, catches it over his shoulder, and then turns, goes upfield, early whistle in the scrimmage, but was about to make a heck of a play. So, man, that was awesome. And then turning on the film yesterday, watching it through, when you're standing on the sideline, you can't quite see it, but Jalen Carter was just an absolute beast that day. Oh my gosh. So we saw a couple balls get thrown away, this and that. And then, you don't really know why on the field because it's just kind of tough to tell what's going on. Go watch the film. I mean, he's in the backfield every single play. Absolute monster.
No doubt. I thought it was great to see the defense's intensity. They were fired up from the first snap. They responded to the challenge that was out there. I thought they probably got the best of the two offense because, it's always 1D versus 2-0 and it's 1-0 versus 2D. So Jalen Carter going up against the two offensive line, forget about it. He's going to be one of the top NFL draft prospects. I want to ask you a question, though. You mentioned Kamari Lassiter flashing, essentially running the route for Ladd McConkey and then making a great interception on a post ball. Is that because the defense has seen the offense for a month straight? They have to know at some point exactly what the play calls are coming. They're fired up. They're trying to answer the challenge from the coaching staff. That's not necessarily on the quarterback, on the receiver, or necessarily just a great play from Kamari. It could be a little bit of mixture of all three things. He had a tip off and he knew exactly what was coming. Is that fair to say as a former quarterback?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, kind of yes and no to your question, but for that specific play, I would say it was a great job, great skill set, great talent by
For
Kamari
sure.
there, because that was a post. The ball's up in the air for 40 yards. He didn't know pre-snap before the play he's running a post ball.
Yeah.
Now, if he had seen a certain split and a certain receiver set and then jumps a route, okay, then you would say, all right, hey, he's seen that a couple times. Let's stay away from this. Hey, let's even try to double move him right here. And something along those lines. But I just thought, he made a heck of a play. That was just a ball play, and he went up and he made it.
Well, he needs to step up because Keely Ringo has to be one of the best man corners in the country. Coming off of his unbelievable 2021 campaign, you would assume that he really won't be challenged that much week in and week out. I would think, and tell me if I'm wrong, that Coach Muschamp and Coach Schumann are going to put him man coverage on the best receiver week in and week out, and then scheme the defensive backfield around that scenario. So Kamari, to your point, is going to have a lot of challenges. And if he's long enough, which he is, he's got an unbelievable frame and he's fast enough and has his head on his shoulders, he's going to have a lot of opportunity to make some big splash plays throughout the season.
Right. Yeah. With Keely, it's kind of like a good thing, we're not talking about Keely, because then, something would have showed up in the scrimmage,
For sure.
but because, he slipped your mind and you didn't see him. Okay. Well, he did his job. He's on lock. Nobody tested him, because he is who he is, and so, like you said, Kamari's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way. It's going to have to step up. But going back to Keely, he's a great player. I would kind of man him up, and put him wherever you need to do him, wherever you need to put him.
Yeah.
Because he's full capable of doing that.
The frames on those guys. Keely is huge. Looks like a linebacker,
Yeah,
runs like a wide receiver. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm working out with him the other morning and I walk by him. I'm like, dude, you're a whole lot bigger than I
his
thought you
neck.
were.
I mean, he looks like a linebacker.
Gosh.
It's wild. Defense, I thought, had a really good scrimmage. I think that shows good signs of development throughout camp. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball for just a moment. I think the beauty of the offensive side of the ball for Georgia is that the coaching staff and to a point, the players know what they have. A lot of guys return. Stetson's still in the fold. Todd Monken back as the offensive coordinator. I was really looking from a situational football standpoint, 4-minute offense, goal line offense, what they were lining up in, who was getting the opportunities. Unfortunate news about Andrew Paul tearing his ACL. That running back room's kind of getting a little thin. Kendall Milton did not scrimmage. Yep. He has the hamstring that he's still battling back from, but it looked like on the sideline he was running around okay. I don't think they're too worried about him not being available for week 1. But you cannot, and this is not hyperbole, you cannot ignore the talent at the tight end position. It is an embarrassment of riches. You get down into goal line situations and you're like, what do you do if you're on the defensive side of the ball? And you have to think Stetson feels pretty good when he's in those situations.
Yep. No, you got mismatches. I mean, you got it all. I mean, you can do certain personnel packages. You can put all 4 or 5 of them out there. All right, hey, if they stay in a smaller personnel set, the defense does, you run the football. It's easy. I mean, those guys are just as talented as they are catching the football. They're just as talented at being physical and moving a defender in the run game. So, hey, if they're staying small, run the ball. If they, go big, I mean, spread them out wide, get your mismatch, and, hey, let's go play backyard football, because they cannot cover those guys at all.
No, you're totally right. Speaking of mismatch, like Brock Bowers, obvious freak athlete. You can put him in the backfield. You can split him out. You can put his hand on the ground. Darnell Washington looks like an NBA center out there. I mean, forget about it. He can box out, toss it up, see what happens. Eric Gilbert, we all know the freak athleticism that he has. I think he's going to be a nightmare if he finds some consistency this season. But a guy who flashed for me was Oscar Dell, freshman, West Forsyth. I mean, this kid looks like a mini Brock Bowers, excuse me. It's awesome. So it's really good to see. I thought Brock Vandegrift had a great throw to Don Blaylock, like a 60-yard catch and run. That was high energy. I think Carson Beck looks the part. He looks like a prototypical quarterback, tall, commanding of the pocket. He can spin the ball as well. I would think he's the number 2 heading into the season. I don't know. I didn't see enough. You might know more, but it looks like, he stayed. He could have easily transferred after this year. I think he is the solidified number 2 heading into the season. I think Coach Monken has that confidence in him as well. So I hope the running back room is healthy. It seems like they're kind of making sure of that heading into week 1 with the injuries they've had to deal with. Wide receivers, A.D. Mitchell looks the part as well. Kieris twisted the ankle, but he should be okay. It didn't seem too serious. Tight ends are crazy. Offensive line looks the part. Georgia's offense is going to be the strength of the team heading into this season.
Yeah. I mean, what makes Georgia and Alabama is their depth. So, being able to, have a few guys banged up, even in a scrimmage when you're going against each other, being able to roll the next guy in, and have the same kind of productivity, from him, that's just the kind of making of a good football team. So
yeah,
it's just definitely going to show up this fall and going to help them out for sure.
Yeah, that depth is key. One last thing I'll touch on, special teams. This is going to be a big part of Georgia's success in 2022. The punting seemed a little bit better. I got to see Brett Thorson punt for the first time. He's got a big leg. The key is consistency there. I think he'll develop that hopefully throughout the season and just help the defense out. Don't kick touchbacks when you don't need to. 45 yards is plenty enough. Help the defense out. They will rely on you. We're going to miss Jake Camarda. I'm just telling you right now, Jake Camarda was an absolute freak last year. And then field goals. I saw a lot of missed field goals on Saturday, enough to make me kind of question the operation. Are the holders being consistent? It looked like the snaps were pretty on par, but man, you got to make points. People are going to be fired up when they play Georgia this year. So consistency when it comes to special teams. It's tough to replicate those real life game situations, though, during a scrimmage. It just is. That's how it goes. You're not really full rush. Some of your timing can get thrown off. Those guys are going to get thrown to the fire week one in Mercedes-Benz. I think Jack Podlesny at the field goal position will certainly be able to put some points on the board. All right, let's go to second down. We touched on it in the show open. Week 0 is here, Jake. Does week 0 do it for you? I mean, is it an appetizer that you would order on the menu, or would you just, rather get another drink, have one more weekend off of football, maybe go see a high school game, and then really get tuned up for week 1, which is next week? What are your thoughts on week 0 in general?
So, staying on your analogy, I love to eat. So
Okay.
any kind of food, is good for me. Hey, no offense to, the Vandies and the Nebraskas, you would like it to be kind of a bigger game, but hey,
sure.
man, food is food, football is football. Let's go eat.
I agree with that. I do agree that we do have one Big Ten matchup, Nebraska against Northwestern in Dublin, Ireland. A year ago, Nebraska beat Northwestern 56-7. The line right now, Nebraska is a 12-point favorite. The total is 50.5. I think this will be a cool game to watch on TV. It's at Croke Park in Dublin, a beautiful city if you've never been there. Unbelievable atmosphere as well. Nebraska is certainly a historic program. Northwestern's a historic school, I guess, institution. So we'll see. Scott Frost, Pat Fitzgerald. Look, this game kicks off at 12:30 on Saturday. If you're not watching it, you must be out of the house. If I'm in the house, this game will be on TV. So it's Big Ten action. A lot of hype has been around the Big Ten lately with some offseason news. I don't know. I mean, Scott Frost, I would take Nebraska. I'd probably lay the 12 points. It's going to be a good primer to get us ready because next Thursday, we get hitting them out with some really good games. And then it's Thursday to Monday night, wall-to-wall action, Labor Day weekend. So I'm excited for that one. But the other big game, I think, is on the island. Vanderbilt, an SEC team, heads out to Hawaii to take on the Rainbow Warriors. Vanderbilt, this is crazy. 6.5-point favorite? I don't know. I like Hawaii at home. Give me the points. Plus 6.5. The total is 55. I don't really have a feel on that. But Clark Lee, heading into his second season as Vanderbilt's head coach, they need to do better than 2 wins this year.
Sure.
Do you think that they can, start off with some energy and go knock off Hawaii on the island?
I think they really need to. I think it's tough. Week 0, still early in camp, going all the way across the country. But I think they need to. I mean, they got to start off on a good foot. I know the second year head coach wants to start off good, for the season, and I really think they need to. Going back to the Northwestern and Nebraska game. So check this out. I was doing some research on this. In 2018, Northwestern had a record of 9-5 in an even year. In 2019, they went 3-9. 2020, 7-2. 2021, 3-9. So this is an even year.
Okay.
They're going to beat Nebraska.
I like that. That is what we bring to Punt and Pass. I love that trend. Even year, Northwestern football is going to win more games than they lose. I tell you what, if they do win, Scott Frost will be on the hottest of hot seats possible. Casey Thompson, the transfer from Texas, is going to be the starting quarterback at Nebraska. So a lot of storylines there. Okay.
New OC. It's a lot going on. They're week 0. So in my opinion, I think it really kind of hurts the development of the team in camp because, you're getting off, what's getting you better
Mm-hmm.
earlier, getting the game week earlier. Game weeks are great now for the players, but I really think you need to develop a little bit more. So, I don't know. Things could be a little shaky start, for
I like
Nebraska.
it. I like it. And then back to the Vandy Hawaii game. Hawaii's head coach is Tommy Chang. Tommy Chang was the early 2000s Hawaii quarterback, obviously coached by June Jones. That's when Hawaii late night would be putting up 60 points a game. You couldn't stop the offense. Check out these stats, Jake. Tommy Chang, 17,000 passing yards and 117 touchdowns in 4 years at Hawaii. So
Wow.
I will most certainly be watching that Hawaii Vanderbilt game, 10:30 Eastern kickoff. But I'm right there with you. Hey, week 0, ease us into the season. It's a nice little precursor to Labor Day weekend. I will take football whenever I can get it. So we'll enjoy Saturday. I guess I'm taking the 12 points with Northwestern now. You just talked me into it. And then I'll take the 6.5 with Hawaii as well. Those are the 2 games that I have circled. There's about 11 other games. I think there's 13 or 12 games total in week 0. All right, let's go to third down. Third down. 2 quick pieces of news here that I just have to get off my chest. One, Urban Meyer going back to Fox's big noon kickoff. Are you kidding me? I mean, Urban Meyer, after a disastrous tenure as the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, gets ousted midseason. Unbelievable rumor mill, unbelievable headlines that were coming out about how he treated his players, how he treated his coaching staff, how he treated everybody around that franchise. Then, of course, they play the Thursday night game. He does not fly home with the team, which is the craziest thing of all time. And then he is on camera at a bar in Columbus, Ohio, getting rubbed on against a young 20 blonde something. I mean, Jake, how on earth is this guy so shameless that he just continues to get opportunity after opportunity? Now, if you turn on Channel 5 and you're in the Atlanta area at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, he's going to be in your living room. Give me a break. What is going on here?
Blows my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That one's crazy to me, and just, I mean, what a debacle of a season. And then, all that stuff, the bar situation, way he treated, like you said, way he treated his players. And then, apparently he didn't know who like some players in the league were. The example was like Aaron Donald, didn't who, oh, we have to block this 99 guy.
Yeah. That guy's pretty
yeah,
good. He's kicking ass.
no,
Who's that? You're like the best player in the league, you idiot.
Yeah. So I blows my mind. And then, this is just crazy to me, already, he's a Florida guy, an Ohio State guy, don't really like that. And all
not
the
a good
things,
mix.
no, it just doesn't sit well.
So it was said that like he was calling his entire assistant coaching staff a bunch of losers and that he's a winner. It was reported and charges, I think, were filed or against the NFLPA. Josh Lambo, the place kicker, said he got kicked by Urban Meyer during pre-practice warm-up. And then I have to get your thoughts on this because you played in the NFL. You were on away team trips. You were on the planes. Win, lose, or draw. Okay? Win, lose, or draw. Unless it is a extreme family emergency or like a pre-planned family emergency, every ass in that franchise is on that plane heading back to your home facility. The fact that the head coach did not fly back with the team, and not only did he not fly back, gets on camera at a bar after the game that night. It is honestly one of the most mind-blowing, baffling occurrences that I have ever seen in any level of football. Yet he did not get fired after that. He kept coaching. He was 2-11. Then he got axed after that. That right there, Jake, tells me everything I need to know. And then even better, his excuse was like exactly what a player would say if a player got caught in that situation. It was like, hey, dude, that's not how it works. That was crazy town. Now Fox is like, yeah, dude, come on back. Take this seat next to Rob Stone, Matt Leinart, Brady Quinn, Reggie Bush, and let's welcome you back into American living rooms. Mind blown. How?
Yeah. Unless, you have been in that, football realm of traveling with the team and away games, you wouldn't understand how big a deal it's not to travel back with the team. I mean, that is huge. I mean, big deal. Crazy stuff.
Do you watch Big Noon Kickoff, or are you more of a game day guy? I mean, I'm a game day guy, but I'm not locked in. It's just on in the background, maybe donuts with the girls, checking out Prize Picks or whatever it might be, getting ready for that noon kickoff. But Urban Meyer, like, no thanks. I won't be watching it.
I'm good. Game day.
I'm good too. All right. Last thing. This is like 3.5 down. Oregon rumored to be interested in joining the Big Ten. I feel like these news storylines will continue to come out. Every team is interested in not being in the Pac-12 or the ACC or the Big 12. But yeah, Oregon reportedly interested in joining the Big Ten. Big Ten potentially eyeing going to 20 teams. A school like Oregon certainly would be a good fit. They want to follow the likes of Southern Cal, UCLA. Why? It would really ease the burden on those teams on the West Coast from a scheduling perspective, and they don't want to be left behind. I mean, Oregon does not want to be left behind. Phil Knight, yeah, he does not want to be left holding the bag, trying to figure out where they can fit in. Again, I think Notre Dame is that poker chip that holds everything in the fray, waiting to see where everybody decides to go. And then we'll see what happens. But these storylines are going to continue to come up. I bet you leading up to week 1 against Georgia, SEC might be rumored as well. Who knows? But, conference realignment, let's just get it done and move on. Okay. Get it done and move on.
Yeah, I think nobody wants to get left out, and then I think once one or two teams start going, I think all the chips will fall, and it'll be kind of quick, one and done. All the dust will settle.
Yeah, and then to that point, SEC now rumored to be pretty much going to a 9-game conference schedule once Texas and Oklahoma officially jump over. I think that's the right move. You hear Nick Saban, you hear Kirby Smart, they're proponents of it. It would help teams in the East play out west, meaning Georgia has not played in College Station yet. Texas A&M has been a member of the SEC since 2012. It will help when Georgia does go to Austin, when Georgia does go to Norman, or any of the other teams, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama coming out. I mean, it will be better. I think that's the right move. I don't see the SEC going to 20 teams, but Jake, who the hell knows? College football is changing by the minute. So we'll be right at the forefront. We'll be tip of the spear right here on Punt and Pass. All right, let's wrap things up. Let's go inside the 5. Next week, inside the 5 will be 5 picks against the spread or totals right here. We'll keep tabs on it all season long. Past couple seasons, I've been right around 60%, which is pretty damn good. So I'm fired up to get going in that regard. I'm taking both dogs this week. I just said it. Jake talked me in to Northwestern plus 12. It's an even numbered year. And then I like Hawaii on island plus 6.5. But a couple more news storylines outside of college football. Dude, I need your thoughts on this. This is almost as crazy as Urban Meyer not flying back with the team. Tom Brady just got back to Bucs training camp yesterday. He had missed the last 11 days of training camp. It's rumored that he was on a family vacation. Remember, he did take a quick retirement in the offseason. I would have to imagine that this trip was planned during that month and a half retirement. And I would have to imagine that his wife, Gisele Bundchen, said, we're going on that family vacation. Any thoughts here? What do you think the locker room reaction is to this?
Yeah, if it was anybody other than Tom Brady, I don't think this would have gone over as well. But he is the GOAT. You just get different privileges being kind of and
that's quite the privilege.
Oh yeah,
11 days training camp gone. Starting quarterback. What is going on?
Look, I have no idea.
If you were the backup quarterback in Tampa, what are your thoughts? I'm thankful to be getting more reps. I hope I get more reps during preseason. Or what's your thought process?
Honestly, I'd be like, hey, he can do what he can do.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna enjoy my reps that I'm getting and my development, and I'm gonna try to be ready, because he's not gonna play forever. Hopefully, maybe I don't
maybe.
know. I don't know. But whenever he's done playing, I want to make sure that I'm as developed as I can be to be the guy, and I'm thankful for the reps. I mean,
yeah.
That's all you can really say.
Execute during practice reps, play well in the preseason, gain the trust of the coaching staff. And
because you're not gonna,
Tom.
You're not
tell
gonna,
Tom, take 3
compete.
more days.
You're not gonna quote unquote compete, for the starting job, but at least you're getting more reps than you would have been getting because guys like him want to take all the reps they can get.
11 days off, and then there was a rumor. I saw this
the Masked Singer.
Yes. So he signed the $350 million contract with Fox to be a broadcaster on their NFL coverage as soon as he's done playing. And the rumor was, because the timing worked out, that maybe he had signed an agreement to be on The Masked Singer, which is on Fox. Okay. They are currently filming the next season of The Masked Singer. People put the pieces together. People said, is Tom Brady not at Bucs training camp because he's filming The Masked Singer? Did he have a contractual obligation that he could not get out of? Now, look, if that contractual obligation was hinging on $350 million, you bet your ass he's not at training camp. Okay. But I think it's since been debunked. He's back at training camp. It sounds like he was on a family vacation. If it does come out that he was on The Masked Singer, that would be interesting nonetheless. One more Tom Brady thing. Dana White was on the Gronkowski podcast. Did you see this? And Dana White came out and said, hey, remember when Tom Brady was on that LeBron show called like The Shop, and he's sitting there and he's talking about, while I was a free agent, I was in talks with this one team. I thought I was going to sign there, and they decided to stick with their own quarterback. And they were like, you're going to keep that guy?
Yeah.
So now Dana White comes out and says, Dana White, was negotiating and at the finish line with John Gruden and the Las Vegas Raiders to bring Brady and Gronk to the Raiders the year the Bucs won the Super Bowl. At the last second, John Gruden blew the whole thing up, and it didn't happen. He wanted to keep Derek Carr. That's crazy. Like, Dana White does not have any reason to lie about that scenario.
Yeah,
the dots do connect around like the timing and all the comments, but John Gruden's a psychopath. I don't know why that would ever happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, just the what if scenarios. I mean, that would have been nuts, and Dana White, he has no dog in this fight. And there's no reason for him just to make this up out of nowhere to get more clicks or something, so that's crazy to think about, like, wow. Well, what if he was a Raider?
I think the right decision was made. And Tom Brady and Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich and the Buccaneers as a whole were a much better fit for him. I don't think Tom Brady and John Gruden would have gotten along. And here is exactly why John Gruden nixed that at the final minute, because Tom Brady is a bigger deal than John Gruden. John Gruden is an egotistical, narcissistic, psychopath. Seriously, ask anybody. I'm just telling you right now, he goes, oh my God, I'm going to be second fiddle to Brady. I can't have this going on. I guarantee you that's what was happening.
Oh, just imagine the QB room, the brainstorm session, and Gruden throws up like his best, longest word play, that he has. And Brady's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to call it this or do this, like just the level of pride and egos in that room, that would have been something.
Be combative. That can definitely
should have been a Netflix series.
Combative. No doubt. Speaking of Netflix series, let's think about Hard Knocks for 2 seconds. I saw this last night on Pro Football Talk. Dan Campbell, our boy from Hard Knocks, head coach of the Detroit Lions. Did you see what they did yesterday for practice?
Did not. Nope.
So Dan Campbell and the coaches did not do practice. The players led practice, meaning every single assistant coach was out there on the field, didn't say one thing to the entire team. The players got to run the entire 2-hour practice. I can't wait to see what it looks like on Hard Knocks. HBO has to love this guy. They have to be like, this guy is a content king. Everybody's going to be tuning in. But think about that, Jake, with your experience in the NFL. Are you serious? During a training camp, getting ready for a preseason game, the coaching staff goes, hey, guys, you guys run practice. We'll be out there watching.
Honestly, as bizarre as it sounds.
You like it?
It is actually much easier than you think. As long as there's a script and you got someone to blow the horn and the play's already scripted out. And even for the quarterback, situation, I mean, you could just run a couple of move the field periods and just call it on your own. Be great for the quarterbacks to develop. And hey, headset goes out. Sometimes, man, you just got to go call stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's an easier idea and for the practice to be run than you would think.
No doubt. I would agree with you. And I bet you the players are kind of like, hey, this is cool. I don't have coaches up my ass the entire time. We get to execute. We get to hold each other accountable. Maybe keep the legs a little bit fresher in that situation. So again, I can't wait to see what that looks like on Hard Knocks. Last thing, Tour Championship week in Atlanta. Top 30 players from the PGA Tour season are teeing it up at East Lake. They're going to be giving out a ton of money for the FedEx Cup. Scotty Scheffler starting at number 1. I think Will Zalatoris is number 2. Any plans to go out there? Do you like watching the FedEx Cup and the Tour Championship? It's weird how it starts out. Like Scotty Scheffler starts out at 10 under. Zalatoris starts out at 8 under. I think there's 2 or 3 Georgia Bulldogs. Sepp Straka made it this year, which was awesome for Big Ox to get in there. He's exempt for the Masters next year, even though he won, of course, the Honda Classic. So he was already exempt. But Yeah, you know, they moved this event up a week. It used to be Labor Day weekend in Atlanta, and it would coincide with the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic. So they've moved this up a week. PGA
Trying to
Tour
get more
wanted to,
views.
yeah,
Yep.
PGA Tour wanted to get out of the way of football, but
Yeah.
I'll be watching it. If anybody has hospitality passes, hit up Jake and I. We'll come hang out.
Absolutely. You
No
kidding
doubt.
me? I would love to hang out East Lake. Hey, what do you think about the way they kind of stagger it and start it? Do you like it? Not like it? I mean, curious on your thoughts of it.
You know, it's interesting. I do agree that good play throughout the entire season, like Scotty Scheffler,
Should be rewarded somehow.
Yes. It's like a NASCAR pole position. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it is. If you're, yes, so I do agree with that. I think the scoring is a little weird.
Yeah.
Maybe it could just be monetarily, right? So like, hey, Scotty Scheffler's number one heading into East Lake. He's going to get a bonus of X amount. Go play golf, right? Like,
I like that.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you
it's-
earned a
yeah.
bonus and now everybody can go play for a massive prize. But it's weird from a wagering standpoint. I know that much. Like
Yeah.
people want to handicap this, and it's like, how the hell Rom's starting 4 strokes back.
Yeah.
Xander Schauffele, who's been really good at East Lake in years past, has a 5-shot deficit on first day. So it makes for good TV though. I'll be watching it. So it will be good. And I will be watching it if the weather's nice. Outside with my Rec Tech grill. That's right. You know
Absolutely.
that we absolutely love Rec Tech here at Punt Pass. They have come on so strong as a new presenting sponsor. This giveaway that they're doing through Punt Pass has been absolutely lights out. We have thousands of entries already. Remember, Rec Tech is giving away an RT 1250 wood pellet smoker, a grill cover for that smoker, a 20-quart Rec Tech icer cooler, 80 pounds of Rec Tech Ultimate Blend wood pellets, and a rub and sauce bundle. Rec Tech will also be on the scene at the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic games in Atlanta. They'll be between Centennial Olympic Park and Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They'll be live out there grilling and chilling, doing giveaways as well. Go meet the Rec Tech team. Try some amazing food. If you're walking around, you will definitely be able to smell them. Rectech.com, RECTEQ.com. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at rectech_official. They got an unbelievable YouTube page and a Facebook channel as well. When you head over to rectech.com, check out their ultimate home gate or tailgate bundles. You have to. They're on sale right now. You will win in 2022. You will be the king of the football season on the weekends when you fire up your RecTech. So thank you so much, RecTech, for being an unbelievable presenting sponsor of Punt and Pass. That giveaway, we will be announcing the winner before or maybe right after September 3rd, which of course is that Georgia-Oregon game where Jody Flanagan at BBQ Dad Jody will be out there with the Rec Tech team, getting everybody activated before Georgia-Oregon and Clemson, Georgia Tech. So go follow Rec Tech on social media, rectech.com, RECTEQ.com. Anything on the way out, my man?
Dude, don't miss out on the Rec Tech, man.
I know.
You want to, you don't want to be that guy, but in this situation, you want to be that guy out on
Absolutely. There's no question about that. And if you do want to be that guy extra, go follow us on social media at Punt and Pass on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Drew Butler. Jake is at From Jake. Puntandpass.com for all things college football. And we will talk to you next week, week 1 in the fold.
See you.